killing machine?
Monitoring?
Non-disclosed information about them. So, uninformed public what machines.
First one thing over there, ones I was some pictures of. I don't know, I can't really explain it really.
Aliens. Spy plane.
Mechanized airplanes?
Killing children in Palestine. I'm sorry, not Palestine, Pakistan. Can we edit that out?
Think of robots and alien space beings and advanced technological warfare.
Little, like, hand-controlled helicopter-y kind of things.
Drone? Well, drones are like mindless people, and they like do work for you. So like, I tell my drones to harvest minerals usually. Yo, I was totally not thinking about real life. Alright, like unmanned drones.
I didn't hear about that.
No, I did not.
Oh, they have a drone lab so they can research deadly war machines with public funding. That's fantastic.
Now I know there are different types of drones, so I'm not sure. I don't have a program if they're making little bugs or I highly doubt they're going to make huge jet drones. So I'm not sure what's around per se, but you just need to try an innovative project of engineering that can use
Yeah, I saw it on the website.
No, I didn't.
Really? No.
No, that sounds really interesting actually. Well, like, are they doing research on drones? Because like, I could use more efficient drones in my opinion.
I have no idea about that, but that's really cool.
I do, actually. I think it should be a target of divestment immediately.
No, I did not. I think it's cool. I'd like to go check it out.
It's for, surveillance, spying on people without having to put your own credibility on the line by sending somebody there.
Public surveillance, that sort of thing.
Isn't it like is it just terrorist threats?
They use them for other things.
They use them for other things. I don't know what that would be.
Surveillance, I think. Or satellites.
There's been a lot of news lately about drones getting used for surveillance, and also here in Virginia, over in the southwest part of the state, using it in sheriff's offices to find missing persons and the like.
All sorts of stuff, like medical things, for different robot competitions with high school kids, definitely lots of applications for that.
Probably surveillance.
Outside of warfare, it can be used for a lot of really great things, like monitoring large stretches of wilderness for things like wildfires and lost hikers and endangered species. So I think unmanned aerial vehicles are a great idea, but we already know that the U.S. military is using them for war, and they're using them for terrible crimes of war.
To detect criminal activity flying over cities and towns and
So like, I heard they first sent some drones in like a Super Bowl or something, like floating around the stadium.
Space.
I think they're used for like environmental purposes, like look at like mountaintop clearings, and then that way you know like if like things are still green, it's okay. If it's brown, like the earth's dying.
Spying.
Hundreds. It's a number of them, but I don't know the exact amount. I'd say over 20.
More than 20.
Jesus, more than 400, I don't know.
Well, let's see. There's 365 days in a year. And there's 4 years, so I'd say 12,000 days plus probably 3 a day. So let's go with 3,600.
2,000.
2,000. I feel like that's a safe number.
I feel like 10. You don't need that many because they fly. 10.
In Pakistan, I'll say 1,000. I mean, so there may have been more. Those are just the ones that he authorized.
Right.
So that's a tricky question.
Probably like 12-1.
A lot more civilians than targets. I can tell that.
Oh, it's got to be ridiculously high, lopsided in terms of civilians.
I think it's probably just going to be really hot where Al-Qaeda ended up being with the civilians.
Okay.
So more civilians.
I don't think we would ever know that exactly, but I would expect that it would be weighted more towards civilians than actual targets. I don't know, is it 4-to-1, 5-to-1, something like that?
193 drone strikes with the bomb, civilians. I'm going to say 200.
100. Which one? Think they killed 100 targets or 100 civilians? Civilians. Okay, how many targets do you think they killed? 80. Wait, how many? Done 3, done 3.
I think I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna go they killed
100 targets.
I would say they killed more targets. I don't know, maybe over 50 and like civilians. I hope like 120.
No, they killed more civilians.
That's terrible.
What was it Iraq?
92% civilian deaths.
Oh, they kill a lot more civilians than targets. Like, I've seen a chart and it was just like all civilians practically. Like,
Because if you don't have somebody flying around to press that button to say, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I'm killing civilians, but when you just have somebody far away who's just seeing an X and an O, really you don't have to think about ethics then.
I think it's pretty scary, depending on who has control of it.
Well, I'm wondering though, like in comparison to those statistics, like how
what was that monster?
what the U.S. military is like on the ground statistics are compared to that, because I don't know.
It was ridiculous amount of civilians, as well as people who really just messed up with finding the wrong person, targeting people and killing them. I'm kind of wary of how they will be used.
I mean, I think that's exciting that they have that as an opportunity for people to get involved in that field. So, I mean,
I actually do support drones because it's like you're not risking people's lives instead of. I mean, it's a lot harder if you send people to like kill those 22 people than have military people go on there and you have so bigger volume of people dying.
I think that they could be used for doing some really good things, but right now the government is too worried about. Well, I mean, here they're too worried about like spying on their own citizens, and then obviously, in the Middle East, they're using them for these attacks, which we shouldn't even be setting bombs. That's just messed up. But I think they should be used for conservation efforts like wildfires and protecting endangered species.
Al-Qaeda members, we have no possibility of review. It's too secret a program. Who are you?
I don't have a negative feeling towards drones, but I might have a negative feeling towards the misuse of drones, and there seem to be that there would be some good applications for drones. That I do believe that weapons and military is justified in extreme cases of defense, but not as kind of strikes to hunt down suspected terrorists that haven't been tried.
Well, then we should use them smarter, if that's the ratio of, killing a target versus an innocent bystander like that guy. I wouldn't want to see him get hit by the drone. I think there's got to be an improvement in that usage of that technology.
I was closer.
I don't think so.
They're mad.
All these elementary cancers, man. This is serious. I think think anything used the wrong way or in like the wrong hands can be a bad thing. I feel like when they were made like for research and for surveillance, that's a good thing. But obviously, if they're killing more civilians, that needs to be looked into.
I'm gonna be famous.
Student organized dialogue on drones. Thanks for coming. Hope everyone learns something today. The goal for today is to discuss a couple things: drone warfare. We also want to discuss nonviolent usage of drones, local usage of drones, and VCU's involvement in the engineering of drones. So today we have 5 panelists. We have Professor Mark Wood, Associate Professor of International Studies. We have Professor Anthony Ellis, Associate Professor of Philosophy of Law and Ethics. And we have Dr. Vivek Jain, grad student and social activist. We have Professor Robert Klinke, founder of VCU's Drone Research Lab, as well as Caleb Smith, representing Students for a Democratic Society. I also want to mention if at any point anyone has a question, whether it be towards a panelist in particular or a more general question, if you text your question to that number that's on the poster up there or on the little sheets that Arlene passed out, our group will be receiving the text throughout the event, and then at the end we have a portion designated towards audience Q&A, and we'll address those questions. So we're going to start off with a brief presentation about the history and the current usage of drones.
Very brief, actually. The drone's a pilotless plane operated by remote control, sometimes referred to as a UAV or an unmanned aerial vehicle. One of the reasons for the rise of drones are that there's no need to accommodate a pilot or a co-pilot and for the extended flight time of a drone. Drones are launched by ground and then handed over via satellite. Controls handed over that way. Drones are nothing new. Drones were actually used as decoys during the Cold War. They were also used to collect samples from the nuclear cloud at Bikini Atoll, nuclear test site. And the first drone attack occurred on November 4th, 2002, outside of an official war zone. Many drone attacks actually do occur outside of official war zones. And since 9/11, as much as 95% of all non-battlefield attacks were carried out by drones. So basically some public concerns and a few things that hopefully the panelists will be touching on today is the loss of human life, legality, accountability, transparency, and the long-term effects on war and humanity, a possible drone, I guess, arms race that could be occurring.
And then we have a quick visual that we've done that I think illustrates drones, especially drone usage, really well. And we'll just show that real quick.